Okay, so now let's understand that what are the things you would need to solve this problem completely. Now, first thing is you need the data. So, in order to get the data, you have to first create an account from Kaggle, which you definitely need it here. And once you're done, you can go to your data tab, and from here you can get these two files. One is your training text dot this part, and even your training variants dot zip. Okay, so this will be a zip file. You can unzip it and can start working. So these are the two files which you need to work on it. So again, repeating, you have to get training text dot zip and training variants dot zip. These are the two files which you will need to work on this part. Now, second thing is that once you get the data, you should always look at the discussion forum. This is one of the place from where I learn a lot personally, and I would definitely recommend all of you to please go ahead and kind of look at the discussion forum. There is a lot of discussion which keeps on happening between people, like they have some doubt, maybe that's your doubt as well, and there will be people answering that, okay, if you get stuck in this place, then how you can proceed, or you can post your questions and you will get very interesting answers. So this is one place from where I have myself learned a lot, and you can even look at the leaderboard who is working on what. And this is the things which you will definitely need to work on this part. Now in this discussion forum, even you can see that this Iker, this guy is, I think he's the organizer of this, so you will get to know a lot of understanding about the problem statement. So it do happens a lot of times that when a problem is given, since you are not even a domain expert into, let's say, medical domain, so these organizers comes and kind of give even more detailed explanation about the problems. Or if you are not able to understand it, then you can really post it out, and they would really help you to understand all the problem statement. So this is an interesting thing about it. So I would strongly recommend you to go through this discussion forum. Secondly, even I would like to credit a lot of people who have even contributed to their solutions. In fact, a lot of solutions I have personally gone through in GitHub accounts. So it's very easy to search for them. You can just go to Google and type this problem statement name and type GitHub. There will be a lot of people who will be putting their own solutions. In fact, I would like to credit all those people who have put their solutions on basically GitHub, because even from them I have learned how to solve this particular problem, and using that knowledge I was able to design a nearby solution to it. So I would not say that this is completely coming, the whole solution is completely coming through me. In fact, I would wholeheartedly thanks those people who have given the best solution into the GitHub accounts, and I kind of looked at them, learned through it, and created the one of the whatever the better solution I could think of, and kind of providing it to you, so that you can even think like a winner, that how generally even winners of Kaggle thinks and approach the solutions, and why basically they were able to win that competition. Because even the people who kind of win the competition, they post a lot of solutions on GitHub, and that's a very good way of learning something. Never feel shy even once you become an expert into this domain. Never feel shy to even learn from other people. That's one of the very good idea in machine learning. Even today, I have developed this habit of going through at least one or two GitHub accounts on daily basis, and try to learn their solution, what is their approach. And sometime I just feel, wow, what an excellent solution this guy have given. So I would recommend you to do that. Now once you get this data, and this we you need to really understand that what is this data first. Let's explore this, and then I will explain you that given this data set, once we understood that, what is this real machine learning problem we are trying to solve, right? So we need to really fit in this problem into the machine learning box, otherwise there's no point of solving it. So we need to really fit in all these things into machine learning part. Now one thing which even we have told in the kind of in our introduction video also is that we are kind of assuming here that you guys already have the machine learning knowledge. If you don't have it, you need to go back and kind of learn that topic, because this is an advanced level course where we are expecting that you really know that what is supervised learning, what is the unsupervised learning. This is called as classification, this is regression. So at least we expect you to have the basic knowledge of machine learning. Any advanced level concept which we are going to introduce, I'm going to give a detailed explanation of it, so you need not worry about that. So for anything which we feel that yes, it makes sense for us to kind of give you the solution of, or give you an explanation for that particular topic, we are definitely going to do that. So you need not worry about any advanced topic kind of solution, because we know that generally when you walk through any course, what are the things generally instructor kind of cover, and what are the things instructor do not cover. So but I'm really sorry to say about this. When you go to the real world, a lot of things which people do not cover is really important, and you will really notice this while working on this first case study itself. Means when you will solve further, you will realize much more things to come, but at the same time you will learn about it, that definitely there are a lot of important things which maybe books will not teach you. The beginner level books, or maybe the beginner level instructors, will make your life easy to understand what is machine learning, but at the same time those complex details will be kind of skipped out. So we want to bring up all that, because we do want to bring up all the experience what we have learned while solving those real time projects, so that you do not face that difficulty once you move into the industry. So with this, let's start understanding the data. Let's start shooting, at least get an evaluation, get some insight on that data, and then we will try to convert this problem into a machine learning problem. Now, going ahead with this, let's first analyze the data. So, yeah, this list seems to be huge, but yes, you do need all these packages. But I would strongly recommend, in case if any place you get an error, because it's a high probability if you execute this import statements, you may end up with a lot of errors here. But really do not worry about that. As in when you get any error, you know how to install those packages. You just look at those packages name and say pip3 install package name, or conda install package name, right? So whatever way you have done your installation, just do that. So do no need to worry. So even I have put this comment as well: if any of it failed, do not panic, and just use this commands. I've given you the commands and all. Just look at the error and accordingly just install it, because there's a high possibility that you might not have already all these packages being available to you beforehand. So it's a very common case, no need to worry about it. Once you're done, then the second thing would be to kind of load this data set. Now, once you have downloaded this data set, you, let's say, have created a folder. So what I have done is, like, we got these two data files, right? I told you two zip files, training variant and training text. Now what we are going to do with this is, I have unzipped them and created a training folder, and inside that training folder I have kept both these files, okay, so that I can just go ahead and start using them up. Now one thing is that this we are going to use pandas. So again, we are going to read it by using read underscore csv, and the first file will be loaded as a data frame, and the data frame name is data underscore variants. The second data file was training text. Now here, if you will go and look at the data is separated by a delimiter like this. Okay, it was not separated by a comma. Like if you look at the training variant data set, it's going to be separated by comma. So I need not define the delimiters and all. But here in this data set, I do really need to define this. So that's the reason you can see that, and we do have like id comma text to it. Now let's go ahead and try to explore this data. Okay, so let's see that what all is going to be present inside this data. Now in order to get that, so first what we are going to do, let's explore the data variant file. Now in this data frame, as soon as we did a head, we can see that we have id, gene, variation, and class. Let's understand that. Now, this is the class we were talking about, right? So I told you that there can be cancers of various type, which means the cancer will be from 1 to 9, okay? And this is where we are interested in, that given something new coming up for you, you want to basically look at the gene, the variant, and the research papers associated with it, and you should be able to tell that, okay, this is going to be my class, right? Now, here in this data set, I do have gene, I do have variation, right, which we have talked about. But I was telling you that we do have gene, we need variation, and we need the class, right? Sorry, research paper, which let me call it as text. And then we are interested to predict about class, right? This is what the problem we want to solve. Given any new gene, the variation associated with it, and the research paper, like all the text data related to it, and I want to predict which class it belongs to. Now, in this first data, I do have gene, I do have variation, and ID. Basically, it tells this ID is also there for to link the mutation to the clinical evidence, right? So this is what we do have. So definitely in the second data, we will be having all that text information, which is going to be coming from the research work, right? So this is how the data was collected and given to us. So let's go step by step. Let's not hurry up in understanding this problem statement. Now, the second thing is that so once we are doing this analysis, when we look at the information here, so we can see that we have ID, gene, variation, how many non-null values are there, every detail is mentioned here. Let's do a description of it, and we can see the mean, median, 25% percentile, maximum, minimum, all these values. You can very easily do that. Now, then you can look at the shape of the data. This shape is telling me that how many rows I have in my data set and how many columns I do have. Now, definitely when we talk about column, we do have columns like ID, gene, variation, class, right? 4 columns. That's the reason you are seeing this value as 4. And I do have 3,321 entries into my record. Now, these are the column, right? So as I just said that we have 4 columns, so we can see it with the help of columns function. Now let's explore about data text, means my second file where we do have the text data coming up. Now here you can see we do have ID column and the text. Actually, if you look at this text, this is going to be huge data. I would strongly recommend you to open that file, data file, and see that. It's going to be a huge data. And you will notice that it's a research paper, so it's going to be huge text being associated. But one interesting thing you can notice that ID is common between both the data set. So I can definitely do a merge operation, and then I will have gene, variation, and text, all things together. And using this, I will be building my model, and then later we are going to kind of, for any new data, we're gonna look at our predictions. That's what we're gonna do. So let's look at again some more information, like we can do an info again. Can you notice something interesting here? This information is giving us some idea. Can you identify that? If you look at it, this is giving me an idea that in text we do have some missing values, right? Without doing any analysis on this data, we can still analyze just by looking at the info that yes, we do have some missing values. So we will see that how to deal with that later. Now let's go ahead and understand few more things. We can do a describe again to try to just do some statistics for the data. We can look at the column and we can look at the shape. So in short, my data set looks like this, right? So if you look at this data variants, this included my ID and gene variation and class, and data text includes my ID and this research paper text. Now, in further videos, we gonna go ahead and try to understand that what we can do with this data, and how really, what is the kind of problem really now we are going to solve, right? So we first understood that yes, this is a Kaggle related problem. What is the real problem the people are facing and why they want to automate with machine learning. Then we looked at that data set, tried to explore it by using our pandas data frame, and got some insight about the data. Now the next step would be we will try to infer from this data set or this problem that how basically it fits in the machine learning world. What is the real machine learning problem we have to solve further. So that is the next step we're gonna follow.